All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into a really cool idea. What if the key to unlocking your English fluency wasn't about more studying, but about a super simple, powerful morning routine? Let's get right into it.
So, does this sound familiar? You know tons of English words. You understand grammar, but when it's actually time to speak, you just freeze up. It's a really common frustration. But the material we're looking at today argues it's not a knowledge problem at all. It's a habit problem.
And this quote is really the heart of it all. The idea is that your mornings are your secret weapon. It's your private classroom before the rest of the world wakes up. If you can get control of those first few minutes of your day, you can get control of your English fluency.
So let's kick things off with Section 1, Winning Your Morning. We're going to dig into the whole philosophy behind this daily habit. And remember, this isn't about memorizing more vocabulary lists. It's about building a consistent routine that makes speaking English feel completely natural, a part of who you are.
Okay, on to Section 2, Training Your Brain and Your Mouth. This is where we get into the why behind this routine, why it's so effective. The big secret is making a shift from passively knowing English to actively doing it.
Think about it like this. Right when you wake up, for about the first 30 minutes, your brain is in what's called an alpha state. It's super calm, relaxed, and incredibly receptive. It's like soft clay. So whatever you put into it during that time, whether it's the sounds of English or the stress of social media, that's what shapes your reality for the rest of the day.
And this slide really nails the huge shift you need to make. See, passive learning, reading silently or just listening, that builds your knowledge base. But active practice, speaking the words out loud, reading aloud with energy, that's what builds confidence, clarity, and real fluency. You gotta move from just being a learner to being a doer.
So here's the crucial point. Fluency doesn't just live in your memory. It lives in your mouth. You have to train your mouth, your tongue, and your lips every single day, just like an athlete trains their body at the gym. This daily workout is what builds that muscle memory you need to speak without even thinking about it.
All right, now for the fun part. Section 3, your three-part routine. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the simple, actionable framework that will drive your daily progress.
It all comes down to these three pillars. It's really that simple. First, input. You feed your brain with English. Second, output. You train your mouth with active speaking. And third, reinforcement. You build that lasting memory. Easy, right? Let's break each one down. Okay, so the very first thing you do when you wake up, and I mean before you even touch your phone, is listen to 5 minutes of simple English. No screens, just pure sound. Let the rhythm and the melody of the language just wash over you. The goal here isn't to understand every single word. It's to tell your brain, hey, we live in English now.
Next up, Pillar 2 is all about activating your mouth. This can be as simple as reading one paragraph out loud, but like you're giving a speech. You can even use that dead time, while you're brushing your teeth or walking around. But one of the most powerful tools mentioned is something called the mirror habit.
And I just love this idea. It's so empowering. You don't have to wait around for a conversation partner. The person in the mirror doesn't judge you, doesn't interrupt, and guess what? They're available every single morning, guaranteed. So here's how it works. For just 2 minutes, you stand in front of the mirror, make eye contact with yourself, and just talk about your day in simple English. Use your hands, smile, feel alive while you do it. And this is the most important part. Always, always end by looking yourself right in the eye and saying, I am proud of myself. This is a total game changer for confidence. And finally, Pillar 3 is where you reinforce your learning to fight against that pesky forgetting curve. Our brains are designed to forget most new stuff within 24 hours unless we review it. So you spend just 5 minutes quickly going over yesterday's new words or maybe listening to a quick recording of your own voice. And you always end with a little English gratitude to connect the language to positive feelings. So, what does this actually look like in real life? Well, here's a sample schedule. Maybe 5 minutes of listening while you stretch, 2 minutes of the mirror habit, 5 minutes of reading a paragraph out loud, then 3 minutes to review yesterday's words. See, that's just 15 minutes to totally reprogram your English ability. Okay, let's wrap this up with our final section, from learner to speaker. Because as we'll see, this whole thing is about so much more than just a routine. It's about building a brand new identity.
Every single morning that you show up and do this, you're basically casting a vote for a new identity. You're no longer just a person who is learning English, you're becoming a person who speaks English. You're literally building a version of yourself who is more confident, more expressive, and doesn't wait for permission to speak. And the amazing part is how fast this transformation can happen. The source material claims that if you really commit to this routine for just 30 days, the change in your confidence, your clarity, and your courage will be so huge you might not even recognize your own voice.
This is why ending with that little moment of gratitude is so important. When you connect English to positive emotions like pride and thankfulness, your brain just locks that learning in. Fear makes us forget, but speaking from a place of love and confidence makes the language a permanent part of who you are.
So, next time you think, I just don't have time, I want you to reframe that. You have the same time used to scroll through social media or to worry about things. It's not about finding more time, it's about using the time you already have with a little more focus and a lot more intention. So, ultimately, it all comes down to this one choice. Every single morning is a fresh opportunity. You can either repeat the same old patterns that keep you feeling stuck, or you can use those first few minutes to become the confident, fluent speaker you were always meant to be. The choice